The list of Trump lapdogs who have now turned on him just keeps growing. But it is notable that the individuals who are finally speaking out against Trump really have nothing to lose. Now, the latest to join that list is a former Republican representative, Lou Barletta. And Barletta was one of Trump's earliest allies in the House, and he also co-chaired Trump's 2016 campaign in Pennsylvania. During his final term in office, though, he enthusiastically supported Trump and his policies, and then decided, I want to run for governor in Pennsylvania. That's what he wanted to do. And I'm hoping that the man that I've been so loyal to endorses me, but that's not what Trump did. Trump did the opposite.
Of course.
Now, on Sunday, Barletta decided to slam Trump in an interview with Politico, where he said, quote, "I'm not supporting him. I was one of his most loyal supporters in Congress, but loyalty was only a one-way street." So when he left Congress in 2019 and ran for governor in Pennsylvania, Trump decided, I'm gonna go ahead and endorse, of course, Doug Mastriano. Doug Mastriano lost, but nonetheless, I love to see it. And he also just gently critiqued Trump on the campaign trail. And I'm talking about Barletta here. So let's take a quick look at that video and I'll fill you in on more.
There's no denying there was another big endorsement by President Trump. And I want to say this loud and clear to President Trump. You are dead wrong, and I'm going to prove it on Tuesday. And I'm going to sit there.
He went on to lose the Republican primary for that gubernatorial race in Pennsylvania, and then Doug Mastriano ended up losing the general election. But there is another former Republican who lambasted Trump. I'll get to him in just a moment. But Cenk, it is notable that we're talking about a former member of Congress who is now free, untethered to any election, any type of quest for power. So he's free to actually tell the truth about Trump. It's really interesting.
Look, the thing that bothers me is that my whole life I was told by newspapers and television predominantly that politicians are honorable people. Look at them. I mean, they're all dupes and cowards. So Barletta, what's he complaining about? He's like, I was the first to kiss Trump's ass, and I thought that meant something. Yeah, Lou, no, you're an idiot. And by the way, did you criticize Trump through all the terrible things that he did? Even as a right winger, a lot of the politicians don't agree with Trump on many things, right? Do they ever come out and say anything? No. Only at the last moment after Trump snubbed him does he say, oh, he was dead wrong. But even that's mild, right? And doesn't explain why he's wrong, doesn't explain what's wrong with Trump. And then he loses, of course, because he didn't get Trump's support. Trump has never been loyal to anyone. He buried his ex-wife on a golf course to get a tax break. You think he was gonna be loyal to you, you schmuck? Chris Christie was the first Republican legitimate candidate for president to get out of the race and endorse Trump. That was a big moment. I don't know if you guys remember it, but that was kind of a turning point for Trump becoming credible. And then remember, he stood like a goon behind Trump the whole time.
How could I forget? It was the best moment, yes.
And then Trump didn't pick him to be the VP because he thought he was too fat.
No, guys, okay, look. This is the best thing about Trump. Not the what he thinks about Chris Christie due to his weight, right? Not that. But the fact that he embarrasses and unmans all of these Republican phonies who presented themselves as these strongmen for so many years. And it turned out that they were just self-interested, narcissistic losers who immediately cower once a bigger narcissist enters the scene, and that's of course Donald Trump.
Yeah, and don't get it twisted just because he's criticizing Trump now. Barletta is a terrible guy. He was one of the first right-wingers to go, oh, that hateful prick who's calling immigrants rapists and criminals. I love that guy, right? So now loser Barletta comes out and goes, oh, but I thought the hateful prick would then support my hateful campaign. Instead, he supported the hateful campaign of another guy who's willing to kiss his ass even more. And as these congressmen point out, Trump's trick is not that hard to tell. And even then, he still blows it. He waits till it's nearly over and sees who's leading and then endorses the guy who's leading, right? And so He doesn't care about loyalty because he wants to improve his own record. Of course.
So Tom Marino is another former Republican congressman out of Pennsylvania, and he had some thoughts about the lack of loyalty from Donald Trump. In fact, he just simply says, "Where the hell is the loyalty? Lou and I were the first congressmen." You guys are embarrassing yourselves. Like, it's just, okay. Lou and I were the first congressmen to come out and endorse Trump in his first election. We took a lot of heat about it. I'm very disappointed in the former president because apparently the loyalty does not go as far as he says. Look, the fact that they refused to ever like criticize Trump, to critique him even lightly when they were in positions of power, makes their current comments, in my opinion, even more embarrassing for themselves.
Super embarrassing. They basically just told all their voters, yeah, we were lying to you the whole time. We thought Trump was a bad guy, but hey, we thought enough ass kissing would do the trick, but it turns out it didn't.
Yeah.
But there is a second layer to it, which is, yeah, this concept of loyalty, it just doesn't exist in America anymore. And I wish it did. I think loyalty is a great thing. I'm loyal to a fault, but
it's the best thing about you.
Thank you, I appreciate that. But also I'm a grown up, and I know that even if you're loyal to some folks, they might not return it, right? So there's some former hosts that have left, and even though we were incredibly kind to them, the minute they thought they could make a buck off of us, they went and lied about us anyway, because the world is filled with pricks. And Trump is the biggest one of all. And that leads to the last part of it, which is Barletta and the other hateful guy. If you guys couldn't figure out that Trump is not a good guy and doesn't care about loyalty, that he's only in it for himself, well, you're not very bright either, right? But at the end of the day, I'll take it. More Republicans that pile on, telling people who Trump really is, maybe it'll break through a tiny bit to Republican voters. Because Republican voters, guess what? You're just like Lou Barletta and the other congressman. You think he's gonna be loyal to you, that he's gonna build a wall, he's gonna do all these things that you want him to do, care about the average American worker, create more jobs. He's never done any of that. What's the only thing he ever did when he was president? Tax cuts for the rich.
Yeah, and if you think your wages went up because of Trump, just try to take a look at the ballot initiatives in your state at that time, because it was a ballot initiative where the majority of voters in your state voted to increase the state's minimum wage.
Like in Missouri, Arkansas, Florida, et cetera. And by the way, every Republican in those states fought that tooth and nail, and they wanted to make sure you did not get higher wages.
Yep.
And we had Matt Gaetz on the show right on election night, and we said, how about higher wages? He's like, oh, no. No, he's like, let's cut Medicaid instead.
The real problem is that there is a federal minimum wage.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
He doesn't even want you to have the $7.25 as a minimum wage. That's who Republicans are. That's who Donald Trump is.
Yeah.